Testing, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm getting awkward. This week, we're gonna talk about the winter of our lives. So I'll start off by telling you how I see it. The winter of our lives is those periods. I look at life day by day, obviously, every second counts. I at least try be as present as I can, but on the broader scale, I look at a year, for example. In my year, I have seasons. Sometimes it's like summer, things are blooming all at once, different things going on in my life. You may get that job. Good news, like everything just starts rushing in bulk, in abundance, and those could be the summers of your life. The winters of your life are those opposite to the summers, and those are periods where you're in stagnation, you're in hibernation, you're not leaving the house as much, you are feeling like you want to change your whole identity, nothing is going your way, things are completely dull, stagnant energy. You may not want to be in the relationship that you're in anymore, or friendships may not be working the way you thought they would be working. Those are the winters. I have started to understand, at least I'm now understanding, the importance of the winters of your life. First real winter I experienced, and I do feel like when you enter your 20s or like a period of your life where you live alone and trying to make it, that's when you start noticing your winters a bit more, not really when you're a kid and your parents are like there and helping you and doing everything they can to support you and you live at home. Like, you will go through winters, but it's a little bit harder to identify. I started noticing like the true winters of my life. I would say a few years ago, I went through one of the hardest times of my life that I think I've ever been through. I just felt very lost and I was constantly fighting the clock. Time felt like it wasn't moving. I felt really overwhelmed by time and like a schedule, and I lost a lot of weight. It was just the winter of my life. I felt like I just didn't know what I was gonna do. I think I had just turned 21 at this point. I remember it was in the months of like March to May. Or June. I would say end of May was the winter of my life. And in this time, I spent a lot of it alone. But what formed in this time is the current version of me. And what I mean by that is, I started to envision who I wanted to be. If I could be the best version of myself. I started acting that way. I started doing things that that version of myself would do. For example, like wake up at 7 a.m. and go to the gym. Even if I didn't have somewhere to be really early, I made it a point to set an alarm and go to the gym at a certain time because that's what the best version of me would do. Build my modeling portfolio every day. Fell in love with exercise again. I've always been really athletic, but I kind of lost that when I first moved to LA, when I was trying to just like climatize and find my friends and find things that made me happy. And you know, I took some time to kind of like feel myself and my surroundings, and it made me fall in love with exercise again. I got heavily back into writing and journaling. I just got very, 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 very specific on the type of life and the type of person that I wanted to be. I got more in touch with my spirituality. I've always been extremely spiritual and religious, but in this time I found new beliefs. I found new things that I enjoyed. People that I wanted to be surrounded with one day, whatever the case may be. Now let's get more into what made this the winter of my life. I was going through many things at once. I was not getting along with some of my family members. I was having fallouts with my friends. I had just graduated college and I was like, what do I want to do now? Where do I want to be? It was a very weird time. I had never been in a time as such. That kind of also led to me having a lot more free time. Felt like at the moment, it just kind of felt like the universe wasn't budging. It felt like everything that I wanted and said wasn't budging. And I was just so confused. Little did I know, they're budging now, just not at the specific time I wanted. And they're only budging because through the darkest moments of my life, I created who I am today. And the art forms that I enjoy, some of the best images that I've captured and art that I've made was when I was in the winter of my life. When you're in the winter of your life, the things that make you feel you, try cling to. Try and feel yourself again in some way, and going back and connecting with things that once made you feel yourself can push you to an even greater understanding of who you are. For me, it was knowing what I wanted to do, but just not knowing how to get there. I just felt like I was destined for something. I wasn't sure how to get there. And like, it didn't make sense. I didn't know what to do. So I tried everything. I tried everything in the winter of my life. Every email, every contact, every Instagram. And the right ones budged. Not maybe in the moment, but later I planted the seed and they came. The right ones budged because now I'm working on projects that I planned during the winter of my life. I think it's really important for us not to fight those periods of our lives. I don't mean stay negative, but I mean don't fight the dark parts of your life and what you're going through, because the only way you can become light is when you've understood what it feels like to be dark. I had to go through that. I had to be alone and cry every night and not understand what was going on. I had to build myself a new schedule based on like my own interests and like not things that I had to do. It was a very confusing time for me, and I'll never forget, I was in Santa Monica with a friend of mine, like when I felt the winter of my life was starting. And we were at a crystal shop, like a esoteric shop, looking at crystals. And, you know, like, I just felt like I needed to be one with nature. And medium in the store, and he just came and said to me, "You're like a fish turning into a crab." And I was like, "What do you mean?" like explain. It's like, what I mean by that is your whole life you've lived a certain way and you've been in this one world. And now you're changing form and you're exiting the world that you were in and you're entering dry land and you're going to rebuild. And I was like, thank you, kind sir. Like, I needed that. Helped me so much during the winter of my life because it got so difficult that I needed that. I needed that at the back of my head. I needed to know that this was a time that I was learning how to be different. I was learning how to be myself and do the things that I enjoy doing. And not to say, oh, like you only have anxiety and you only go through dark times in the winters of your life. That's not true. Anxiety, depression, trying to be human is an everyday struggle, no matter what season of your life you're in. It's being scared to do everything, but doing it still. There has to be a balance in the world. So no matter what you're going through, just hold on a couple days. It will level out. I'm at my lowest and life feels like it's just caving in and I'm like having a panic attack. I always remember, wait 48 hours. Things will be different. Somebody told me that, but I just like told it to myself, so it's still advice. That's like the best advice I ever gave myself. Don't make any decision in life based on emotion. Emotion on thought, not on feeling. Thinking sometimes is just not what we need to be doing. Sometimes decisions require a feeling. You will know when something's right for you. You will know when something's wrong for you. You can think a way out of it. You can convince yourself 48 reasons why it may be good. If it's not good, it's not going to be. Acting on emotion out of thought is never good. I want to throw a tantrum. I'm going to throw a tantrum. That's not good. I am so down. I want the whole world to end. That's not good. I am so besotted and in lust and in love with this person. I want to marry them right now. We all want to do it sometimes, but sometimes that's not good. You have to let things cultivate inside of you. I know that may sound crazy, but it's true. Next time somebody asks you a question that you're not sure about, let it sit. Wait on the decision. Your body will tell you. Your mind is going to tell you a billion different things, but your body will tell you. Not that I have anything against the person, but there was a period of my life where I was friends with a person, and not to say that I don't think we were good for each other, but my body knew that this person wasn't good for me. And what I mean by that is I had no energy. I was spending time with them. My skin was breaking out. Body felt weak and bloated, and just my body was telling me something, and I was ignoring it just because it was easy to be around. And I did love this person, and I will always love this person, but my body was rejecting this person. So in the winter of my life, I had made a vision board, and I put a magazine cover that I would like to be on, a bunch of things that I want to do or wanted to do at that time, which was a year ago. Put a picture of myself over the cover, and I had no understanding or way how it was going to happen. I just knew it was. I wanted to do it. I'm made for that. I can speak through my images. It's just who I am. It's just how I've always been. I feel most heard when I'm silent and just portraying art. 3-4 months later, I met a great friend of mine right now who became super close to me, like family. We shot the cover of Harper's Bazaar, and it got released this October. If you try every single day, even on those cold winter days in your life when you don't want to do anything or be around anybody and it's just so hard, put a little effort out. In some way, go to bed every night knowing that today I did something. I put an energy out there. I did something that was toward my higher being and purpose. I study at UCLA, and I'm taking a course, and in the course you are to build brand for yourself. We are talking about a reason for being and how you can put your passions, things you love, and make a career out of those things. It comes from this Japanese concept called Ikigai. I don't want to butcher the name. It's Ikigai, and it basically means a reason for being. And what is your reason for being? What gets you up every day? It got me thinking. I was like, what is my reason for being? To hopefully inspire those that feel misunderstood and so uncomfortable in the world and in their sexuality that they are embarrassed to be themselves. And I hope to be a great activist for human rights and children's rights, especially children's rights, because children are innocent. Children are the future, and children are delicate beings. And I don't think the world and people have treated children fairly. And it is my life goal to help build something off of that so that I can help children. That's what also made me want to start this podcast, is if I'm helping some children out there that may have similar experiences to me and have had to go through what I've been through and being ripped apart and misunderstood and judged, all for just being myself, perfect. That's why I wake up every day. That's what makes my life worth living, is inspiring other people. I just think that's such a beautiful concept, and you can make like a chart and a table, and I recommend everybody Google it and do it. I read a lot of self-help books. That's just what happens, and that's how I know I'm in the winter of my life, because I will go to Barnes & Noble and I will buy 5 self-help books and I will read them all and I will implement them. Most recent book that I read that changed my life and brought me into the summer of my life was The Artist's Way. I think that book everybody should read. And an exercise that that book taught me that I do every morning is my 3 pages, and it's just a stream of don't stop. You just do 3 pages of journaling. You don't have to know what you're writing. It can be whatever, and you'll notice that once you start, my name is Ted, my cat is black, my car is a Range Rover, your mind and your body start to flush out things that you haven't, that were left unsaid that you so badly wanted to say. Becomes a form of therapy, the best type of therapy. If you're feeling anxious and confused when you wake up in the morning before you do anything, sip some water and do your 3 pages in bed. If you've got to wake up an extra 15 minutes early just to do that every morning, do it. I hold myself accountable for that because I know that if I don't stream, I feel heavier in the day. Feeling like you're in the winter of your life, dig deeper into self-care. Like, if you enjoy baths, elevate your baths. I like to add like tea bags to my bath and like salts, green tea bag. I'm a firm believer in take a day a week. Go ghost. Don't do any work. Bath. Don't work out. Order in. Light your candles. Clean your space. You don't want to be slothful even when you take your days off. Like, clean your space. When I take my self-care day, I set my apartment up like a hotel. Candles, clean sheets, vacuumed floors, mopped floors. Don't be a sloth. Even when you want to stay in and have those cozy days where you do nothing, clean your space. Cultivate good energy even when it's just you inside alone. If there's chaos amongst your space, and I know some people thrive in chaos and that's okay, but just personally for me, if there is chaos in my space and it's not in order and minimal and like neutral and a place for me to just unwind and feel like I'm at a resort, I have a hard time unwinding. I need my environment to be calm. You have goals to have a beautiful mansion that looks amazing and is clean and smells amazing. Take care of your apartment. Give your apartment that same energy you want to give your mansion one day. Give yourself the same energy you would if you were on a billboard right now on Sunset Boulevard. And that you will become. Energy is contagious. Energy is everywhere. Energy is transformative. You can manipulate energy. And the best thing is you can change your energy in a heartbeat. If I'm overwhelmed and I hate the world, I can take a second. I can do a little 10-minute guided meditation and I'm a different person. If you're in the winter of your life right now, I just want to wish you love, luck, happiness, and just know that you're safe. And no matter what you're going through in your life right now, just try a little bit every day to cultivate the energy of the best version of yourself that you so badly want to become, and you will become that. Don't let the world shake you. Don't let anybody shake you. If shit is going crazy and you feel like the whole world is against you, cultivate the energy of your best version of yourself. The world will be your best friend and biggest fan in another 2 days. Just give it 2 days. People are like that. So know that you're never alone, but know that you can take the time to be alone, but don't isolate yourself. Go down and know that you're not scared of going down again and you will rise up. So the other day, I'm at a grocery store and Miley Cyrus walks by me and we're both ordering, and I order my matcha, she orders her matcha, and I can hear people like, oh, like Miley Cyrus is here, whatever, this person's here. And she came and started speaking to me, and I was like, oh, she said like, oh, I love your toes, like I love what you've done on your toes. And I said, thank you so much, I love your shoes. And she called me beautiful, and it made my day. And it took me out of like that rut, that not myself that day. My reason for saying this is not to gloat or any of the above, but it's more to let everybody know that there's nothing wrong with practicing kindness, even if people don't approach you with kindness back. Spreading kindness is one of the greatest frequencies that we have, and that comment that she made to me, which is that genuine compliment that I needed that day so badly, it made my day. Everybody love, and I will speak to you soon. Another episode of Cultivate with Chris. You can come, I'm just filming.